Hi, I'm Linda Mihara, and in today's class I'm going to show you one of my absolute favorite models, which is the Kawasaki Rose. This is a one-piece model that really showcases, how to shape, you get to learn how to shape it the way you like it. It's absolutely gorgeous. For this, I would recommend using a 10-inch by 10-inch sheet of regular kami. You can use Biotope, and a nice thin mulberry if you have that in 10-inch by 10-inch. Also grab a creasing tool and some paper clips or some bulldog clips to help hold it together at some parts of this model. So go ahead and grab those and let's get started. So we want to begin with the color side face down. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm working with a 10-inch by 10-inch square. And we want to fold it into a rectangle. So what we're going to do is start preparing the model by making a bunch of pre-creases that go in a certain direction, and that's really important here, and I found a really cool way to make that happen. So go ahead and fold it in half, reinforce with your creasing tool, unfold, and now let's fold both edges to meet the center, and being mindful of your outer edges to make sure that they are square, and then follow with the creasing tool. Let's do the same for the other side. So let's bring that in to meet the center. Make your fold and then follow with the creasing tool. Now let's take the raw edges and bring it back out to the folded edge like that. Again, being mindful of your outer edges to make sure that you're square. Follow with the creasing tool, and let's do the same for the other side. And make that fold and then follow with the creasing tool. So now we want to turn the model over, and now we're going to take both layers and bring that to the center line, and definitely use your creasing tool here and the final side here, and follow with the creasing tool. So now let's go ahead and unfold that, and let's rotate it. We're going to do that same sequence for the other direction. So again, color side face down, and then let's fold it into a rectangle. So remember, you want to start with the color side face down. Fold, use your creasing tool, open it up, bring both edges to the center. Rotate, do the other side. And follow with the creasing tool. Now we bring the raw edges outside to the folded edge. Just like that. And then follow with the creasing tool. And rotate and do the other side. And creasing tool. Now we turn the model over and then bring both layers to the center. And the final one here. Okay. So now we want to take this and unfold it. And let's go ahead and on this side, we're going to create a square that's half the size of these 4 squares here. And an easy way to do that is this way. This halfway point is already a mountain fold. So what we want to do is let's pinch along that fold. And what we want to do is bring that folded edge to this first row line here. And when you do that, you only want to fold just the middle half of that those 2 rows there. Okay, and then you want to follow with the creasing tool and unfold. And then take that folded edge and now let's bring it to this fold line here. So you're leading with that folded edge, right? So you're folding that and then reinforcing with the creasing tool and then unfold. So now you've got the top and bottom of this square, and we need to do these two. So let's go ahead and rotate the model. Let's pinch this halfway into the mountain. Take that folded edge, bring it to that first row, only fold the middle, and then take that same folded edge and fold it down to the other side, that first row, and we're going to reinforce with the creasing tool and then unfold. So now we have this square right there. So now let's turn the model over to the other side, and what we're going to do is fold the four corners to the middle, but it's only 2 rows up, so it's up to this second row here. So it's just like this. And after you make each fold, reinforce with your creasing tool. So again, you're folding the corner up to the second row. And we're doing all 4 corners. Like that. And this one like that. We're going to continue by making some a couple of more pre-creases. So on this first row here, what we need to do is create a valley fold going this way and then coming back down going this way. So it's really easy to do from this side, because we're going to take the raw edge here and bring it up to this raw edge here. And we only fold the first up to the first row right up here, and then make sure you use your creasing tool and then unfold. And then to do this one, you're going to take the raw edge at the bottom and bring it to the center crease. So line that up and then make your crease up to that first row like this, and then unfold. So now you've got your valley fold that makes this triangle like that. We need to do that for the other 3 sides, so let's go ahead and rotate. So again, the raw edge, bring that edge up to the edge of that triangle, but only fold the bottom first row. Reinforce that, unfold, and then bring the raw edge now to the center crease. Fold up to the first row and reinforce and unfold. So now you've got this one. And rotate and continue. We're going to take this raw edge, bring it up, only fold the first row, reinforce, unfold, take the raw edge, bring it to the center crease, and up to the first row, fold, unfold, and then we have this. So I'm using red to indicate valley folds. So we're taking the raw edge, and let's do the final petal by lining that up, folding it up to the first row, reinforcing that crease, unfolding, and then finally the raw edge to the center crease, and fold up to the first row here, and reinforce. So now we have our 4 pre-creased triangles, like this. Now let's turn the model over to the other side, and what we're going to do is do a diagonal fold that goes between the 2 rows that straddle the center crease. So it's a matter of taking the raw edge and folding it up, or bringing the raw edge up, but you're only folding up 2 rows this time, and follow with your creasing tool so that we have this here. So again, it's just 2 rows up, 2 rows across. And let's rotate and do the same for this. So again, it's the 2 rows in the middle. So you're taking your raw edge and you're bringing it up to that fold line there. And reinforce, and unfold. So now you have this. And let's rotate and do the same thing here. And up 2 rows, reinforce, unfold. You've got this. So remember, it's the 2 rows that straddle the halfway point. And then finally we're taking this, the raw edge, bringing it over, making your crease, and then unfolding. And we have now 4 valley folds that look like this. So now we're going to do some more pre-creasing. And you see our little square that we have here in the middle. We want to create mountain folds that go out from the corners of that square. So let's do this first one. I'm going to take this edge here and bring it across here. And then that's actually the halfway point. But what you want to be mindful of is to start your fold from the outer corner of the square. So I'm going to draw this so that you can see it on the other side. You should have your crease line there. So again, we're here, color side face up. This edge comes right across to the other side. But you only start your fold from the corner of the square on out. Now, since you already have a layer here, it's kind of hard if you go this way because you're going to catch this layer here. So go from the outside and stop here at the square. And the same for the other side. So start from the outside edge and come up to the square like this. And reinforce your fold from the outside in as well. That way you don't catch that flap. Okay, then we unfold this. And then we're going to do the other diagonal. So we're going to take this edge and bring it over here. I want to rotate my model. And then again, you're starting from the outside and working your way in, stopping at the corner of the square. And the same for the other side. Coming inside, stopping at the corner of the square, and reinforce in the same with the same direction with your creasing tool, and then unfold. So now you should have these valley folds here. Like that. And like that. Okay. So now that we have that, let's turn the model over to the other side. So let's turn it over to the other side. So on this side, your diagonals that you just created are mountain folds. And that's what you want. So I'm indicating the mountain fold with the blue pen. And the red pen is indicating the valley folds. Okay. We need to create parallel folds to these diagonals that we've just created. And the parallel fold has to start from the corner of the square and paralleling this diagonal going all the way over here. An easy way to do that, so we're only doing this half, not this half. It's just from here to the outside. So we're going to take this edge here and bring it to meet this point of this triangle. So when we do that, you can line up your center crease that's here, line that up with the point, follow that center crease down, and then go from the center crease on out, because it's only this half that we need to fold. And then follow with your creasing tool here, and then unfold. So now you've got your valley fold that parallels that diagonal. Okay, let's rotate and continue. So again, you're taking this edge, bringing it to the bottom of that triangle, and following that halfway crease down, and then bringing that out and reinforcing. So now you have your second parallel crease, which is this. Let's rotate and continue. This edge comes over to the point, opposite point. Follow that halfway crease down and go from that crease to the outside. Reinforce, unfold, rotate, and let's do the final one. This edge coming across to this triangle and bringing this to the outside, reinforce, and unfold. So now you've got your parallel folds that surround your square. So now we get to twist this thing, and it's really a fun maneuver, and my favorite part of this model. So what we want to do is, let's go ahead and start by reinforcing our mountain folds. Okay, so let's just pinch along those, just kind of get them started. And what we're going to do is, this whole thing is going to rotate to one side. And we're going to do this in sequence. We're going to go counterclockwise. So let's start here. So you have your valley fold and your mountain fold. So on the outer edge, let's just pinch that mountain fold, and you're just going to fold it. You're following this valley fold. You're not making any new creases, but you're just taking that and just putting it, it should be right along the edge of that triangle. Okay, like that. I'm going to rotate. And again, you're pinching the mountain fold, and you're just folding, following your valley fold underneath. Okay, and we're just going to rotate around, do the same thing. It's just on the outer edge. And what this will do, and then the final one, again, you're pinching and flattening. So see, they all go in the same direction. So now you're going to work the paper forward. The goal is to flatten each flap following that valley fold that's underneath. And this is really cool. So watch this. So I put my hands on here, and as I bring the paper and flatten the rose from the outside to the in, it'll get to be like this. And then when you continue, the square will rotate. And then when you're able to finally get it these flat, the square turns out to be like that. So it just kind of twists and flattens. It's really, really cool maneuver. And let's go ahead and reinforce with a creasing tool. Again, you've got these flaps here, so work from the outside in. And let's give the square a good touch like that, so it's nice and flat. So now let's take this model and turn it over to the other side. And you know, you see that we have these valley folds that we've made at the beginning. And what we want to do is identify your other valleys and mountains on this side. So we've got a valley fold here and a mountain fold that goes underneath this flap here. I'm going to go ahead and draw these valleys and mountains on all four sides, because when we start collapsing this, we want to make sure we follow those directions. Valley, mountain. So now we're going to collapse the model. Lift it off the table, and what we're doing is we need to make a pleat that comes across. So you see this flap here. Let's unfold it from the outside, and you see this mountain fold? If you push along and pop this open, you're going to end up with a mountain fold that connects 3 rows. So this basically pops out. This one corner here pops out. And that's what you want. Let's give it a little pinch. And then you see the valley fold. It's already starting to collapse onto the valley fold. That's what you want to do. Let's bring this off to the right and flatten it just like this. The bottom edges should line up, and this row should sit right on top of this row here. So it should be like that. Now you've got this point that's sticking out, and that's what we want. So next to it, we've got a very interesting shape, and to me, it looks like a house. So let me go ahead and draw that, because this is going to be important when you collapse this house. Okay, so you see the house? Now you've done some pre-creasing here. You see this triangle here? This edge of the house is a mountain fold. First step is let's pinch the mountain fold, which is like this. And then what we're going to do is bring this lower corner of the house across to the upper corner of the house here. So this is going to be like this. You're going to pinch this and bring it across. There's already a valley fold that goes across here, and you're just following that. Okay, so you're just following all these folds that you've already put in place. So you're going to pinch that, bring it across, so it's like this. Now let's look behind the house, and you see there's this valley fold that goes right behind the house. So what we're going to do is now flatten the house using that valley fold. So it's going to look like this. You're going to take this and you're just going to flatten it right on top like that. Now here's our next valley fold. So this is going to be the same sequence that we just did. So we're doing the valley, but we first have to identify this mountain fold by unfolding this, pushing this open, and then this pops out. So this, again, this is 3 rows wide. It should come to a point like that. And then you're going to just bring this across, and you've got your valley fold. It's already kind of going that direction. Just want to coax that in place, so just bring that forward. So it's flat like this. And then we're going to take this corner, and this is going to just wrap around. There's already a flap underneath here. So you're just going to take this and make a mountain fold by wrapping that around that point, so it ends up like this. Okay, that's the first lock. So now let's open up the model here. Here's our next house. So the first step is to make the edge of the house on the left, just pinch that in place. Keep pinching it, bring this corner across, following that valley fold that's already in existence. Let's open up this. Let's re-pinch the house here. Look behind, you've got your valley fold. Let's push that in. And this whole flap is going to flatten on top using that valley fold. So here we are, we're pushing that down. Okay, here's our next valley fold. It's already starting to go in that direction, but we have to pop out this mountain fold. So let's go ahead and do that. So from underneath, you're pushing it out. So again, you have 1, 2, 3 rows, and then you're just bringing that over. It should be on top of the house like this, and then you're just taking the flap and folding it back behind it. Like that. So now if your model looks like this, reach underneath, pop this out. Here's your house. Let's go ahead and pinch this side of the house. Keep pinching it, bring it across like that. Re-pinch the edge of the house here. Find the valley fold here. Push this down on top of that valley fold. So now it should start to go like this, right? And then here's our next valley fold, but we have to do this mountain fold first. So reach underneath, pop the valley fold out. So we have the 3 rows, and then this just goes on top following the valley fold underneath. Okay, so now this is flat against the model, and then this flap comes around, wraps around, and then go ahead and fold that to a point. And here's our final house here. We have to first do the mounted fold on the edge of the house. So we're bringing that flap in, pinching this, bringing this corner across the house like that, re-pinching the left side of the house, and pushing it in using the valley fold behind it, and just bringing this flap in. And then this is already a valley fold. This mountain fold is already exposed, so we're just going to go ahead and flatten that on top and wrap this around the corner like this. So your model should look, I'm going to go ahead and use some clips so that you can see how this is looking here. Okay, so this is what it should look like on top, and you should have your points. It should look the same. You've got this little flap, these flaps here, which are great. So now the classic Kawasaki Rose, you're actually now just going to close it and lock it in place. So let me show you that version, and then I'll show you my variation that really I think makes the model. So now if you turn it upside down, you've got these 4 points. Let's take one of the points and just bring it into the center, and we want to put a slight crease to kind of hold it in place, so it makes like a little triangle like this. So let's rotate to the left, take this flap, bring that forward, put a little pinch. So what we're doing is we're overlapping those flaps. So we've got 3. So now the 4th one, oh, and just make sure that these flaps don't come undone. Just rewrap it around that point. So now this is going to tuck underneath the first layer that we tucked in. So this goes underneath like that. And it kind of makes a square shape here at the bottom. And that, when you pinch around, that kind of locks it in place. So that's the correct closure of the classic Kawasaki Rose. And what he does is it just pops this open like this. And then you can pull these petals open like this. And kind of open it like this. So this is the classic Kawasaki Rose. And my variation gives a little bit more volume to the rose. So let me show you that now. So what we're going to do is let's unfold these flaps down here. And let's rotate it so that it's faced up like this. We're going to take this and let's unfold that small triangle flap here. And let's unfold this flap here. So there's 2 parts to this. We're going to take this folded edge here and bring it to meet this folded edge up here, using this corner as a pivot. So it's going to come up like this. And we're going to pinch it until it's, and stop right where the split of the petal is, right there. And then return that flap by folding that around. So this is the correct, you see how that opens up the petal really nicely like this. So let's go ahead and rotate and do the same for the rest. So let's unfold that small triangle, unfold the petal, take this folded edge, bring it to meet that top folded edge. And then rewrap this around. So you're basically flattening it back to the rose, right? Like that. Let's rotate. Unfold that triangle. Unfold the petal. Take that folded edge, bring it up. Rewrap the triangle around the base. And continue to the final one. So unfold that triangle. Unfold this flap, folded edges up, and then rewrapping that triangle. Right, so it should look like this. And then you can go ahead, let's turn it upside down, and let's go ahead and do the tuck. So first petal comes down like this. Next one overlaps that. Bring that forward. Next one, bring that on top. And the final one tucks inside and underneath the first flap like this. So here's the closure. Kind of give it a slight pinch all the way around. Turn it back over. And so now we can see how the outside petals have really opened up. You want to take and from the center, pull out those 4 petals. And if you want, you can kind of push down here in the middle a little bit to give it a little bit more depth like this. And what I like to do is to kind of shape these 4 main petals on the inside by kind of curving out the points here. And so what you want to do is, you see it kind of comes to a little point here. Just kind of peel it open and make a slight triangle. It doesn't go the whole length of the petal. You want to stop right about there. So this just kind of wraps around like that. You kind of rotate and you're just kind of peeling it open. And you're not going all the way, because if you go all the way, you're going to get a possible split that'll happen here. I just kind of take out that one point and just opening it up like this. So let's peel this open like this. And the final one. And bring this over like that. So you see how that just really opens it up and gives it a nice dimension. And you could do an additional curl for these outer petals here, which I like to do as well. And just the points, because that's all you really need. So this is my variation of the Kawasaki Rose. So I hope you enjoyed this class on the Kawasaki Rose. For more great videos, check out our YouTube channel, Paper Tree SF. Thanks for joining me, and happy folding.